The sailors say brown day, love a fine girl. What a
Welcome to your
girl.
Fanward Podcast, Part 2 with Cody Redd, our special singer, entertainer, writer, director, producer, author.
In due time. Just remember.
It is here. The moment
remember.
is now. This is Part 2. Part 2 of our horror podcast because there's way too much psychological human breakdown. So if you could list, let's just do top 5. If you could list,
dear God.
I know, your top 5 when you first started into horror. We can, not now, but like when you first started, like, okay, when horror became your thing, what was the first top 5 movies that you were like, or we can say books, like just that got you into horror that you're like, okay, this was my foundation.
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps.
I read every R.L. Stine Goosebumps book when I was a kid. I had there he is. There's our boy Cthulhu.
There's that dude. That's fucking
is.
Amazing.
I don't know who that artist is. I wish I could credit him because it's amazing. You see that size difference there?
That's incredible.
And he's the weakest one. Anyway,
wow,
he's not the weakest one, but he's the weakest elder god. Anyway, so probably around the time I actually started writing, around the 3rd grade, I got deep into 2 different book series, Animorphs and Goosebumps.
Okay.
Animorphs was about these kids who had the ability to transform into animals that they touched. If they could touch an animal, they could transform into it.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I actually recommend reading Animorphs even as an adult. They're really short reads, especially if you're an adult, and they're fun as hell. Anyway, Animorphs and Goosebumps. Now, what this did was Animorphs gave me this thing in my head where it's like, I love transformations.
Yes.
Werewolves, zombies, like loss of self. It's a part of it's ingrained in myself. What Goosebumps did was said, ooh, let's take a kid turning into an animal and make it scary.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh. So the very first thing I ever wrote, kid who got forced to turn into a werewolf. He didn't choose. He wanted to be a werewolf for Halloween. He wanted to wear a mask. He didn't want to turn into a werewolf.
Yes.
The first Halloween party I ever went to when I was a kid, I won the costume contest dressed up as a werewolf.
It's like every time we talk, I realize why we're such good friends, because it's like my literally like everything I'm such a werewolf, but like that's like anyways.
I love werewolves.
I'm like, okay,
so
keep going.
It was definitely Goosebumps first.
Okay.
There was a story called it was about a mask, and I can even picture the cover. I can't think of the name of it. The Cursed Mask or something like that. The girl puts a mask on for Halloween and it gets stuck to her face.
Here, let's pause so I can look it up.
Okay. Legend of the Cursed Mask. She's wearing a green mask on the cover and it's got like sharp teeth and red eyes. If you type in Goosebumps mask, it'll be the first thing that pops up.
The Haunted Mask?
That's it. Does she have a green mask in the mirror?
Fuck, that's terrifying.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, go back. Go ahead.
So the Haunted Mask. She gets this mask for Halloween. She thinks it's cool. She puts it on and then it won't come off. And what it does is it ends up turning her into a monster the longer that she has it on. It starts to transform her into, and I'm starting to notice a trend with the stuff that I like. Anyway.
That gives me anxiety. The idea. Okay, that's
like
it.
The claustrophobia of
yes.
It. There's an underlying level beyond the loss of self and beyond the whole I can't get the mask off. It's this claustrophobia of this.
That is my horror. That's horror.
Terrifying. Yes, it's up there. It's up there on it's like 3rd, but yeah. That one really inspired me a lot. There was another called I think it was called The Legend of the Shrunken Head, which was about you ever heard of shrunken heads, like from tribes where they would shrink heads? And so I think it was called Legend of the Shrunken Head. It was something of the Shrunken Head. And that one was about a shrunken head that talked to a girl. And I remember that one instinctively. But the one that I still have terror, that still terrifies me, was called, and you will relate to this, is called Night of the Living Dummy. And there were 2 or 3 of them. And it was about this girl who did ventriloquist, did ventriloquy with a puppet.
Okay.
And her puppet is old and ragged, so her dad gets her a new one. And it's possessed. So every time she tries to do the puppet talks for himself, and he'll like say bad things about her daddy in front of him. And she's like, it wasn't me, it was the dummy, it was the puppet. And no, of course, nobody believes her. But I still have even as a puppeteer, I love my puppets.
Yes.
I still have a deep-rooted fear of ventriloquist puppets because of that book.
Okay.
Ventriloquist, the wooden ones, the uncanny valley puppets, the wooden ones with the jaw that moves and the eyes that do this and that move robotically.
That.
Not in my house. I'll have Muppets all day. Like I'll have 40 fluffy puppets. Puppy Fluppets. I'll have 40 fluffy puppets, puppy Fluffets, but I won't have a single ventriloquist puppet in this house. Hell no. They scare the hell out of me. They always have. There's the cover of the second book to the Wicker Anthology.
Yes. Why don't you have a QR code there?
Oh, that would be smart, wouldn't it?
Okay.
You act like I'm a marketer or something. Anyway,
Listen,
I'll do it when we actually talk about.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, the whole book. When we do the whole book podcast. But it started with Goosebumps, dude. Like just those little kids.
Okay, so
books.
Goosebumps, and then the next one was called what? So I remember Goosebumps.
Well, Animorphs wasn't horror. Animorphs wasn't horror. It was just something that it was one of those book series I read. So after Goosebumps, I started getting into slightly more mature horror. It would start with something like Alien, which I think is one of the greatest movies of all time, not just horror movies. The first Alien movie is one of the greatest movies ever made. I'm talking top 5 level. Yeah. And I'm not saying I like it that much. It's not my favorite movie. I'm saying it's that damn good.
Yes.
So I would start watching like the stuff that my mom and dad would watch. Alien, Terminator. Terminator is more action than horror, but it's on that boundary.
Yeah.
Predator, things like that, where it's like these cool superheroes get to the chopper type action. Like there's a competing force here.
Yes.
Then I moved on to this.
Dawn of the Dead.
George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. Now, I'm about to go off on a tangent, so get comfortable.
Okay. All right.
Get your coffee.
I got my coffee.
The first time I ever encountered zombies was the video game Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first time I ever encountered zombies. The Resident Evil graphics have something about them that make them inherently eerie. Even the games that aren't scary games, something about the graphics and the atmosphere were just eerie. Something like liminal, someplace like it feels like you're not supposed to be there. Because back then, it was the first time we really had 3D games. Once again, I'm that old. So it was like you felt you were someplace you weren't supposed to be. But there was something about the Resident Evil zombies specifically that hit me so hard that when I first played Resident Evil the first time, I could not get through the first 30 minutes of it.
Wow.
Because I was so terrified of what zombies were. And this wasn't inherited from anything. This wasn't an inherited fear. It wasn't like being scared of clowns because you watched It. It wasn't like being scared of dragons because you saw one set a building on fire. This was my first time witnessing it.
Yeah.
And there was something so inherently scary about a lifeless corpse that wanted nothing but you dead that terrified me. When Resident Evil 3 came out, which is one of my top 3 favorite games of all time, it has one of my top favorite fictional characters of all time, Jill Valentine. I just spent $300 on a figure of her. I will show that on a podcast in the future because I'm very proud of it. She is next to Vegeta from Dragon Ball. She is my second favorite fictional character of all time. Yeah. Her being there gave me the comfort to play all the way through Resident Evil 3. I don't know why. It could have been because I thought she was hot. She was like one of my first crushes.
Yes.
And that sounds ridiculous, but I think that it let me disconnect from the terror.
Yes.
It was like, this chick's hot and I want to be cool and tough, so I've got to beat this game.
Yes.
Like legitimately. Yeah. And so I went all the way through Resident Evil 3 and I'm like, this is one of the greatest things I've ever experienced. Terrified the whole fucking time. Yeah. Could not play it in the dark. Had to play it with the lights on.
Yeah.
But I beat that son of a bitch.
Oh, I fucking love this.
Then I went back and I played the first one. And Jill Valentine's in that one too, but she's a lot blockier.
Yeah.
And not wearing the blue tube top, which definitely helped in the third one. She's wearing a blue tube top.
Blue tube top really helped me not be scared of shit. It really did. Listen, it really did.
It sounds ridiculous, but
no, it does not.
Serious.
Understanding the human brain, it does not. Like it's like It doesn't.
It gave me this hero syndrome.
Yes.
I have to keep her alive and make sure she
Yes.
makes it to the end because she's a hot chick and I'm a dude.
Yes.
It was this innate, like I'm scared to death, but she's hot. Like,
and I can't let her know. I can't let her know.
Right. I can't let her know I'm a bitch. So I did it.
I know. I love it.
But I went back. I played RE1. I beat that all the way through. I went and played RE2. I beat that all the way through. And I had never experienced anything like the fear that I got from zombies. But there was a thing about zombies that gave me this feeling like I could fight this.
Yeah.
I could fight zombies. I could survive this. So what I got was what Resident Evil does so well is it has these places called save rooms where you walk through a door and it starts playing this song. And instead of terror, the song, I'm going to try to imitate it. It's just like the song goes from like eerie, like zombie sounds and stuff to like you walk through a save room door and you get da 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 da. Da 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 da. It's melancholy. Like it's terrifying, but it's also like you're safe now. You're okay.
Yeah.
And what Resident Evil did for me and what the zombie genre did for me, and it's why this has to be such a big topic in this podcast because it's the one I relate to the most. It's the one I know the most about. Is that zombies are this terrifying thing. If there's too many of them, you're in trouble. If you're out of ammo, you're in trouble. But if there's one of them, push it away and run.
Yeah.
If there's two of them, push him into his friend and run.
Yeah.
Well, they're not friends because they're bloody, thirsty zombies, but you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
There was a sense of survivability to the zombie apocalypse that made Resident Evil and my eventual love for George Romero into this survivable thing that terrified me, but also I was like, okay, open the door and go back out again. So even though I was terrified of the zombies, I would go in, I'd sit in the save room, listen to the music, save my game, just so in case I died, check my items box for ammo and just breathe and go, okay, time to go back out. I would open back the door and go back into my horror. And after Resident Evil, I became obsessed with zombies. I'm still obsessed with zombies. I fucking love zombies. Walking Dead, George Romero movies, Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, Survival of the Dead, all of the Deads. I have a movie called Day of the Living Dead, which isn't even like real. Like it seems fake. Yes. It seems made up. And like, it's so cheesy and bad. I love Z Nation. Z Nation's a great like Sharknado type, like kind of comedy zombie thing. It's scary, but it's also funny. It's hilarious. I love Shaun of the Dead. You'll see that. Oh, there's my girl.
I was just going to say, I was waiting. Yep.
There's my girl. Don't worry. My wife knows. So this is actually the remake of Resident Evil 3, by the way, which is the game that,
Yes.
So, I obsessed with zombies. I didn't care what it was. I'd watch it. I didn't care how bad it was. I'd watch it. If it had a zombie in it, I'd watch it. And I'd go to bed every night and have nightmares every night. But there was something so great about it. There was something exhilarating about how scared I was. I will inherently, I'm going to continue on the zombies in just a second. I will inherently look up videos every once in a while on YouTube that elicit thalassophobia, which is the fear of large bodies of water.
Yes.
I don't know why I do it, but every once in a while I will look on YouTube, thalassophobia, and I will literally have to watch my head go underwater, my head bob, a creature come up. I'm terrified of it.
Yeah.
Terrified. But when it's over, I get this feeling in my chest that's almost like nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how to explain it. It's not nostalgia, but it might be melancholy. I'm not sure. Even as a writer, I don't know what that feeling is. But by the time I'm done watching it, I feel like I conquered something.
Yeah.
And I forced myself to watch it. But why?
Yeah.
Because we have an innate need to face our fears.
Yes.
We would not write horror We would not read horror. We would not watch horror movies. We would not put a cup over the spider instead of killing it if we're scared of spiders. And that's also a respect for life and stuff like that. But it ties together. But what zombies did was it gave me the strength to say I could beat this. I just have to be careful. And then after Resident Evil, I got into the George Romero movies. I watched Dawn of the Dead first, even though it's the second one. And to this day, it is still to me the most rewatchable movie in history. When I'm really bored or when I'm not writing and I just want to like disassociate, I guess.
Yes.
I will throw the extended cut of the 1972 George Romero Dawn of the Dead on. Just watch it. Just listen to the music. Just listen to the dialogue because there's great characters in it. There's moments where they have fun because they clear out this huge mall they clear out all the zombies. They make it really safe. And then they just start going through the mall, like dressing up in clothes and, robbing banks because nobody's there and all this other stuff. And there's this sense of melancholy. There's also this sense of, hey, we can do this. We can beat this. They don't, but they can. But
spoiler alert, they don't, but
if you haven't watched one of the greatest horror movies of all time released in 1972 by now, I can spoil it.
Yes.
But there's this sense of like, we can do it. There's this hope. Like everybody's dead. They're walking around. They want to eat us. They do eat us, but I don't know how to explain it. It's just different. And then
wait, so everyone dies?
Not everyone. 2 people survive. And everybody else dies. My favorite characters all die, but everybody else survives.
Oh, see, that would make me so furious. Every time I felt like when no one would let me pick movies when I was a kid because I'd always pick the movie that the main character died, and it was just like, wait, what's the point of the story? And I'm like, the pain. The pain is the point of the story.
The point of the story is not the pain. It's conquering the pain.
Yeah.
It's going. This is life. This is horror. Life is horror. You just said it earlier.
It is.
And you might have just said it instinctively, but life is horror.
Oh, it is.
It is constantly facing against things you're scared of to get further in life.
Yes.
In horror, it's facing off against things you're scared of to survive. That's just life.
Well, that's what I love about escapism. And that's what I've, just growing up, not having entertainment or anything like that. To me, my way to face horror was to face the real world, to go, is the world that I'm living in, the horror that I feel like I'm living in, is there a world outside of it? Like, is there something outside of it? So then when I came into the real world, I was like, oh my goodness, that was a horror story. This is the real world. Like I have a chance to be a part of the real world. And then I would meet people that would escape into horror or escape into shows to give them the strength to return back to the real world. So it was like this flip thing for me because I thought my horror story was the real world, but it was a fucking dream. And then I woke up and the billions of people out there in the real world are going, you weren't living in a real world. You lived in a horror story that was not even real. It was just a perception. So it was this weird concept to like, oh, I'm in a small group of people in a horror story that feels like it is all of life, and it's not. So entertainment is so fascinating to me when I hear people talk about escaping into a horror movie because it gives them the sense of like to face themselves. And I'm like, so they can return to the real world. You
already escaped yours.
And I escaped my horror story to return to the real world to be like, fuck this, it's not. And it's like, it's so, and this is why I love entertainment. This is why I'm falling in love with the reason why fans love something. I'm going, oh my God, this is why we have to create. If we do not create stories, if we do not create horror stories that just fuck up the brain and give you hope, then people can't return to the real world. We have to have art. We have to have every layer, every beautiful Pride and Prejudice to the fucked up version in our head. Wicker Hill. Yes, we need both. We need all of it. We need all of it because you have no idea what's going on in someone's head that needs something to escape so they can come back and face the real world.
Yep. And if you don't have those horror stories, the stuff you face in real life start to appear like horror.
Yes. And that's what I'm like, it's, and that's why I get so excited because I'm just like, guys, The real world, it's okay. It's
Yep.
going to be okay. It's going to
Yep.
be okay. I feel so much hope for the real world that I want to create entertainment so people
Yep.
can come out and realize it's all a fucking lie.
Yep, me too.
It's here.
I don't care about
It's
nothing.
here.
Yep. Yep.
You
So
got it.
it's funny that you say the thing about the escaping reality thing, because I was just about to segue to something else. Oh, I just accidentally disconnected my camera. Can you still hear me? Okay, there I am.
Yes, there you are. We're back.
So in Dawn of the Dead, most rewatchable movie, it has fun parts. It has like crazy music. It has like silly colored blood because it was the 70s. They didn't know how to do it on camera. But Day of the Dead, which is the sequel immediately after Dawn of the Dead, is gritty, visceral, and real. It's very dark. Like there is no tiny little bits of humor, but it's very everything's over.
Yeah.
We just have to accept that things have changed. That movie, it's a horror movie to its greatest extent. It's probably got the greatest practical effects in the history of film, period. Tom Savini makes everything, it's his magnum opus. It's a masterpiece. Everything in that movie looks so organic and real. It's unbelievable. But that's a segue. The thing about Day of the Dead, and this is another part of horror that I wanted to talk about, which is why you'll probably see Slipknot pop up here, which is a heavy metal band. You'll see Slipknot pop up because they were heavily inspired by horror. But something that people don't talk about when it comes to horror a lot is music. And what music can do to change rewire your brain. Day of the Dead has, in my opinion, the greatest soundtrack in the history of horror. A lot of people didn't like it because it doesn't feel like a horror soundtrack. It's that's the guy who did the special effects for Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Tom Savini. He's a virtuoso, the greatest of all time. The music from Day of the Dead has this sense of melancholy. There's even tiny little bits of like tribal drums and stuff. It's kind of like Jamaican upbeat a little bit. But there's this song, and I get like terrified just thinking about this because it legit scared the shit out of me. So I watch Day of the Dead because I watch the Romero movies like maybe 5 or 6 times a year. I love them that much. There's a song in Day of the Dead that goes dum 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 dum. Okay, that beat. At the first part, it's like dun 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 bum 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 bum. But then it goes into that dum dum. Okay, so remember that. I'm having this dream. Okay, it's just a regular dream. Nothing. I'm just like walking someplace or some. I don't know. And I'm usually a lucid dreamer. I can usually control myself in dreams.
Oh wow.
So yeah. So almost like about 90% of the time. So I don't get scared in my dreams much anymore because I know I can just deal with it. But this dream, I was controlling myself in this one. And I'm just walking. And all of a sudden that music starts to play. Dun, 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 dun,
In
dun,
your
dun,
dream?
dun, dun, dun. In my dream. This is the only time in my entire life that this has happened.
Wait, do you normally
Ever.
have you ever had music in your dreams? I've never heard music.
Not distinct. Like I'll hear rhythm or a beat, and then what will happen is I'll wake up with a song stuck in my head that I haven't listened to in a while. So like I'll hear something, but it's not distinct. It's more of just like.
But this is
rhythm.
fascinating, like an actual. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
So that dun 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 starts to play, and I immediately freak out because I know what it is. I've seen Day of the Dead 1,000 times, but I feel my chest dropping as I'm saying this. So this is how real it was for me. Like I feel, that feeling you get.
Yes.
When it gets to the dum 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 part of the song, everyone around me starts turning into zombies. In my dream. Now, I've already heard a song in my dream. I recognize this song. I've watched this movie 1,000 times. But I've never had a song follow me into a dream from a movie.
That's wild.
that song elicited something in my subconscious, not just me enjoying a movie, but the music elicited something in my subconscious.
That is wild.
That triggered one of my greatest irrational fears. I woke up in sweat with chills up and down every limb. I could not go back to sleep. I had to sit up in bed and just rock back and forth, look at my phone, something. Even though I don't usually get scared in my dreams anymore, because I was controlling that dream.
Yes.
But I couldn't stop the music. So it was like that boom, 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 boom. Now, absolute terror the second I hear it. Immediate terror.
Because it entered your dreams. It came into real life.
It entered the part of my brain I don't use when I'm awake.
Yes.
What the fuck? Like, I didn't give it permission to do that. You know?
That's horror, people.
It was incredible, because the thing is, I was terrified, but at the same time, I was like, what the fuck just happened? It's like, how? And I have never had that happen again. I never had it happen before. And I will never forget it. Ever. Music, sound, like you talk about sound design, of course it's important. A zombie should make zombie sounds, or a dragon should sound like a dragon. But when the music can enter your medulla oblongata, or whatever part of your brain is shut off when you're awake.
Yeah.
That part that you don't use, when a song can enter your brain and say, you're mine now, bitch. It was incredible. It was an incredible, intense experience. It almost felt like out of body. It felt so unreal. So, I don't know how to explain it. I don't think anybody could explain it. It was crazy. Absolutely insane.
Well, music has always been so, like, it's, I have very weird concepts around music, which
I do too.
Could be a different topic altogether, because it is how I pick my music. I'm very picky. I don't think everyone else should do it, but I do. I am like so careful to the music because our body is made up of mostly water, and vibration and energy goes across water. I believe music hits those frequencies and unlocks and opens us up even more than things that we see visually or that we hear, like sound as well, but music does something completely different to the body. It unlocks something in us and humans that help us channel. And so for me, when you mix sound with words, and words you create something. So when you mix a certain frequency of music that is able to unlock an area in the body, whether it is fear, anxiety, love, emotion, it's all these things. Then you bring on the right type of words. You are in perfect state of program, because music makes us hypnotic. It's like the trance. It gets us in a trance state. And then you put words, which are creation. You are now writing the code to the brain.
Yep.
So I am very careful at what type of music I listen to. And so for years, I would listen to music without words, because I would want to open myself up, but yet I wanted to make sure the words that someone was saying were going to be the words that I decided went in my head.
Right.
And so I didn't find a lot of music I resonated with, just because of my background and stuff. But when I found that type of music that matched exactly where I was at, and it was what I needed, then I was like, okay, I will listen to this music. But that's why I'm very particular. I don't just, if someone recommends songs to me, I'll listen to it. But music is one thing that I don't just, it is something that I will not flippantly just listen to, or just become a fan of something because someone goes, oh my goodness. I'll watch a movie, I'll do stuff, like I'll do those things. But music, I think is a whole different level of channeling and opening up the body.
Music is the one thing that is universal.
Yes. And that's why I believe it's so powerful, because it unlocks.
It's 100%.
It goes across all language barriers. It literally opens up every human being on the planet, even plants, everything.
Yep.
Everything
Plants
Nature,
react to music, yes.
nature, everything reacts to it. And so I think it is what
So
is a key to the human.
have you ever heard the phrase, oh, there's our boy again.
I love it. I really do love I love the colors of, okay, keep going. I just love those colors, man.
Have you ever heard the phrase that says writing is magic? That's why we call it spelling.
Yes.
So what you're basically saying is what people have believed for, millennia.
Yeah.
That words are power. The pen is mightier than the sword, like all of this stuff. And when they say that, they're not necessarily saying writing. They're saying creating in general. Because a pen can be used to draw. It can be used to, write. It can be used to whatever, do tattoos, whatever. And what writing does, or what the pen does, is it gives you strength. It gives you power over worlds that don't exist.
Yep.
It allows you to live lives that you don't have the time to live. It allows you to tell people stories that they can't tell. It allows you to be somebody else's voice. It allows you to be your own voice that you never got to speak out. It lets you. There is nothing more powerful than creation. Otherwise, God wouldn't have done it.
Exactly.
If you don't believe in God, the Big Bang. There is nothing more powerful in history than creation, ever, period. I once said, and I still say it, and I think it's pretty profound, and I'm pretty proud of it, that we are never closer to divinity than in the sweet, silent moments in which we create.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing brings us closer to God or to the universe or to whatever have you than creating something.
Yeah.
Childbirth, writing a novel, writing a song. Think about Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. 13, 14 minutes of some of the most beautiful sounds you have ever heard by your ears. I've seen it make babies cry. I've seen it make babies laugh. I've seen music do amazing things. I've read books. Just the other night, I read my wife an excerpt from Wicker Hill that she hadn't read, that she hadn't heard. And she was laying in bed crying.
Yeah.
Why? Because words tell us everything we need to hear, everything we don't want to hear, everything we want to hear. It comforts the disturbed. It disturbs the comfortable. It meets us where we are. It takes us where we want to be. It takes us back to where we used to be. It is, in my opinion, the ultimate power of humans.
But that's why when I look at the people in my life and I look at art and creation, this is why it is this literal, like, it is the most clear thing to me that has ever been clear. Even though that wasn't clear in saying it. That was kind of weird. Besides my ability to speak. Here.
Not every good coach is a great player. Remember that.
Oh, thank you so much. It is why I'm like, we cannot bleach and whitewash and control and dictate how someone creates.
Right.
It is, everything about creation is so messy. Birthing is messy.
It has to be. Everything
about creation is messy. It does not mean harm. I'm not saying to be harmful, because now birthing there are side effects where people do pass and all those things, but in the sense of it is just messy. Humans are messy. And I think that's when I look at relationships, I'm like, dude, I want to hear all your fucked up shit. I do not care, because that to me is human. I do not want to be around plastic Barbies, people that are perfect, clean, like everything is perfect. I'm like, now I don't care if people want, I'm not talking about people that love to do
You're not talking about
surgery.
Physical. You're talking about people wearing a mask.
I'm talking about the sides of you that you think are so fucked up. I'm like, yeah, welcome to life. That's where creation starts. Creation starts in the fucking dirt.
Yep.
It's when you are a kid and you sit in the mud and you're so excited after the rain and you're sitting in the mud and you're making clay. You're making those little clay pots and you're sticking grass to it and there's bugs in there and you're making a bowl to make your food, because that is literally creation. Yeah. It is not some clean, sterile, perfect, sanitized surgery room where everyone's like masks on and this is creation. No, it's in the fucking dirt. And that's what art is to me. And like, you have to be willing
to show yourself as you are. That's one of the reasons that if you look at a lot of artists, a lot of really profound artists, we've talked about him before. I'll talk about him a million more times. Chester Bennington from Linkin Park.
Art should not be created in a lab. That's what I think it is.
Right.
Art should not be created in a lab. It should be created in the actual world. That's what.
In the heart.
In the heart of actual people who are fucked up.
Chris Cornell, Kurt Cobain, Vincent Van Gogh, however you want to pronounce it. All of these people that we consider masters of their craft, they all suffered from some pain.
Yes.
But what they did was they took that pain and they made some of the greatest songs. They saved lives. They made some of the greatest artwork. They wrote some of the greatest books because they took that pain and they said, I'm going to take this pain that has been weaponized against me and weaponize this art against the pain itself.
Yes.
And what that does is every other person that feels that pain, it's already been weaponized for them.
Yeah.
Chester Bennington screaming and giving up. His 17-second constant scream and giving up was for me. It was for millions. It was for all those 16-year-old boys who had their dad breathing down his neck all the time.
Yeah.
It was for those 14-year-old girls who felt fat even though they were beautiful.
Yeah.
Chester said, like literally what happened is Mike Shinoda looked at Chester and said, this one's yours. You write the lyrics, you perform it how you want, this one's yours. And what Chester did was he said, fuck everything I've been through, every last bit of it, and fuck every single person's life who has done this to them. And then they released it. And they said, this is for you. I'm screaming for you. I'm your voice. You're free now. Let go. But he didn't have anyone do that for him.
No.
He gave up. But how many lives did he save?
Well, the thing is, I'm like, that's what happens when you see people, and I can't speak to it, but it's like with a concept of being in a spotlight. I can speak to it some, but not to the extent of him. Once someone who's been through pain and is willing to make themselves vulnerable through art to help others heal becomes so well known, then the very people that he has now healing then turn and go, but do not show us your shame.
Right.
Do not show us the things that you are also ashamed of, because that is part of art is not just the pain that was inflicted that we're healing. It is also the parts of us that we're ashamed of.
Yep.
It's the parts of us that we went to that space and we hurt someone that we cared about, that we said that thing that we wish we would have never said. The parts of us in art are the parts that we look at ourselves and go, I can only put it through art because I sometimes cannot say it out loud because I'm too ashamed of it. And I don't want someone to know, but I put it in the art. And the people get the art and they resonate through the pain, but the pain is also the humanity and our shame and the things that we've done. What drove me to move to LA was not just my need to escape, but was my need to make something right. It was a shame of a pain that I also saw that my decisions impacted others, and I needed to make it right.
Right.
But so much of humanity, they want you to talk about your pain. They want us to literally just like pain bomb the world, like, trauma dump. You hear that. Like, I think there's a difference between sharing an experience and just trauma dumping on the world and not giving anyone the right to even go, I didn't even want, like, this is a lot. This is a lot. Please give me an advisory, But the parts that people don't want to know, that the world now has said, oh, you can't talk about the things that you did wrong. You can't, we can talk about all your pain and we can talk about what everyone else did to you. So you can talk about all the pointing. You can be like, fuck him, this person did this to me. Fuck this person, they did this to me. But we cannot say out loud the things that we did to others that we're trying to make right. Because the internet says, oh, you don't get a chance to say it. I'm going to dig it up. And then I'm gonna shame you for it,
and ruin your career,
over it. And to me, that is the aspects of humanity: the parts that hurt us, and the parts that we do that hurt ourselves that we have to face, and also put into the art and let the world know I am also trying to heal this and make this right. We do not let people make things right anymore.
No, we don't. We don't give anybody a second chance.
No. And that is everything. The purpose of life is the journey. Now, 100% hold people accountable. I am all for that. But I also, when I want someone to be held accountable, I also hope in my gut that they can also heal and become a better person. And there's a redemption story for themselves. Does not take away what they've done. Does not take away whatever the consequences that have to be for the accountability dealt out. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about letting someone have a journey that I hope that they can find peace of mind.
Right.
And so when art, when stories, when these fucked up things that people go, oh, should that be in a story? I'm like, it's for the person that feels the shame, that's hoping they can become that better person.
Yeah.
Because most of the time the shame is so big in our heads that we're even worse in our heads than we are. Someone else will come and be like, dude, are you serious? Like, I'm fucked up. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm not the only one. Then you have that moment where you get to heal a little bit more. You get to be a better person. The point is, you don't become better by hiding all the parts you think are disgusting. But people go, don't talk about it, don't talk about it, don't talk about it.
And I think I think that actually relates to what we've been talking about with horror. It's like every time we face a monster in a horror movie, we're facing a part of us.
Yes.
Like when we fight, when we're being chased through the forest by Jason Voorhees, that's our rage.
Mm-hmm.
When we fall asleep and Freddy Krueger comes up in our dream and chases us through a boiler room, that's our fear.
Yeah.
Like when Michael Myers is literally stalking us, that's our paranoia, our anxiety.
Yeah.
When we're fighting zombies or running from zombies, we're fighting the part of humanity that we're afraid to become.
Yes.
When Abigail goes to Wicker Hill, she's fighting her past. She's fighting her acceptance of it.
Yes.
She's fighting how she was treated by her mother and the truth of it. And she gets thrown into a lot more, but that's the point. And we have to face these fears. We said this earlier. We have to face these fears. We have to come to terms with what we're scared of. We have to search thalassophobia videos right before bed for absolutely no reason, and then feel cathartic when we're done. I don't know why I do that. It's something instinctual. It has to be. I think part of us like to be scared because it reminds us what to be afraid of. I think it reminds us how to protect ourselves. I think it reminds us what really is bad, what really is dangerous. Watch Jason Voorhees kill a bunch of kids just because they're having sex at summer camp, and then see if you can go online and still argue with somebody. It's like, is that person really as bad as what he could be? We're all bad. Every one of us. There's not a single person in this world that doesn't have something where they go, oof, yeah, I did that. Sorry. I mean, it could be as bad as the smell of your fart. It could be you were a murderer. Who knows? Yeah. But we all have something about us that we want to change, or somebody else wants to change about us. But if we start trying to change everybody, we lose the whole point of being people. What's the point? If we're all wearing masks and Pink Floyd says, all in all, we're just another brick in the wall, what's the point?
Yes.
Like there's enough walls. We don't need any more bricks. Horror is that is exactly why horror influences me more than anything else. That's exactly why the very first story I ever wrote was horror. That's exactly why Resident Evil, to this day, let's see, how many years has it been? 19 years later, 20 years later, even maybe, is still one of my favorite things ever. It's still why I still idolize Jill Valentine as a character, because she got me through that fear that I couldn't face. That blue tube top was all I needed. But she did. In a lot of ways, she helped me face a fear that I was trembling scared of. Yes. Zombies terrify. They still do. If there was ever a zombie apocalypse, thankfully I have steel doors and gates and stuff where I live now, concrete walls. I'm good. But they still terrify the hell out of me. But that's an irrational fear. Jill Valentine helped me get through that irrational fear and face it. She helped me beat 3 video games. More than that, because all the ones that followed. But at the time, she helped a teenage boy do that. And facing that fear was hard for me. All I had to do was find a reason to face it. And there's this quote from John Wayne. If you don't know who John Wayne was, he was
Oh, I
an
know who John
American
Wayne was.
He was an American superstar in the,
One
a
of the
while
few,
ago.
but yes, my grandfather loved John Wayne. He had pictures
He
of him all over his house.
he was the American for a long time.
Yes.
He was the how you doing pilgrim guy. He was
Yes.
the first cowboy hat like wearing superstar. He had a quote and he said, courage, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, courage isn't being fearless. It's facing your fears in spite of it.
Yes.
And that is what we do every time we go see a horror movie. We're saying, I'm going in to be scared. It's what we do every time we go to a haunted house. It's what we do every time we ride a roller coaster. It's what we do every time we ask a girl out at a bar. We are terrified.
Yes.
We do it the fuck anyway.
Okay, so if we were to summarize the heart of the podcast of what horror is, how would you do that?
Horror is our reminder that we are alive. I think in the truest sense, more than any other genre. And it's funny because I always tell you that, love and hate or fear and, bad and good are twins, not cousins. Yes. I think the only two genres that do that remind us that we're human, are horror and romance.
Oh.
And they remind us because in horror, we face our fear, we get that jump in our chest, but we keep watching. Or we turn it off. Either way, we learn something about ourselves. And what horror does is it keeps us going. Night of the Living Dead has sequels because people wanted to see more.
Yes.
Why do you want to see more dead bodies eating people? Why do you want to see that? Why would anybody want to see that? I do, but why?
Yes.
Because there's something innately human about being terrified and coming out the other side okay.
Yes.
So I think that's what horror does. I think horror at its core is just reminding us that we're human. The fear of death, the facing our own mortality, the conquering of things we don't want to face, but we do it anyway. That feeling that you get when you go in the save room, save your game, take a deep breath, go get a drink, come back and go, okay, I got to go back out again. That Resident Evil feeling.
Well, this is definitely not what I expected, which makes me even happy. It makes me happy because that is life. Because when you were like, let's talk horror, I did not imagine that it would literally just go right into, what everything that art is human.
Well, I originally just wanted to talk about horror so I could show my book.
You should.
Wicker Hill by F.C. Marrow, available now on fcmarrow.com, Amazon, and Barnes & Noble, as well as a number of others. fcmarrow.com is probably the easiest one to get it at. It's fcmarrow.com. Go to the Buy My Books page. You can find F.C. Marrow there, or you can find Wicker Hill there in digital and physical form. I make more money off the digital, but the physical looks really nice on a shelf, and it's big and thick and girthy. What can I say? I transcend the word. But you should go get it if you aren't a baby, like a little baby that's scared of stuff. You should go get it. Don't read it to grandparents. Don't read it to children. As a matter of fact, don't have children if you read it. Don't feed it to your dogs. They'll get diarrhea. At least that's what my puppet said. Don't read it if you need a trigger warning of any kind, because the trigger is probably in there. But it sure is fun, man.
Dude, I'm most excited about this book, one, because I'm like, okay, I just feel like I'm going to really resonate with Abigail, and I'm very excited I have my designated driver.
Your designated reader?
Yes, my designated reader, Juliana, so that I can leave my body and come back in when I need to and just be able to breathe through it, basically.
Just remember my chapters are long and I talk a lot. That's like,
listen. That
might be a weakness, might be a strength. That's up to the reader.
I don't think it's going to be any different than any of our conversations ever, which
is... Oh,
is...
hell no. No. It's our 2-hour conversations.
Yes, the 2-hour.
Every single person I've talked to about Abigail, every single person that I've had read the book, AI has even said it. Abigail is one of the best protagonists you will ever see in horror.
Yeah.
She's not just what you call a final girl, which is a final girl in horror is like the girl who lives till the end, escapes the killer, lives happy. She's not just that. She has agency. She has strength. She has a debilitating sickness. If you know what multiple sclerosis is, she has that all the way through the book. She's constantly walking with a cane. She's fighting off horror. Like she's living in a horror story while walking with a cane. She's dealing with past trauma. She's dealing with abandonment. She's facing off against an existential threat she does not understand. And this whole time, she is the grounding, concrete force behind the entire story. She is this one part where you're just like, come on, Abigail, just get up, keep going, just keep going, just keep going. And she is so, I write in my author's note at the beginning of Wicker Hill that she is my greatest achievement as a creator. I've written songs, I've written books, I've made art, I've literally done things for celebrities, celebrity merchandise, you know that.
Yep.
My greatest achievement as a creator is Abigail. She is one of my greatest achievements in my entire life.
Wow.
I feel so strongly about her that when I talk about her, she's as real to me as my kid. She's as real to me as this table. She's as real to me as my wife. I talk about her as if she's a person. It's never Abigail did. It's never Abigail did this in the book. It's like, oh, I go to my wife. I'm like, baby, I got to tell you what I did with Abigail. Last night before our meeting, we had a meeting last night. Was that last night? I think. I don't know time. I'm not good with it. I write. I can have some weaknesses.
I feel like I'm a writer. There is no such thing as time.
That's 100% true. And this serves my point. Last night before our meeting, I had a 1 hour long conversation with Liu that I thought was 10 minutes long about the overall story of Wicker Hill and how it goes on through the 4 books, because I mapped out all 4 books last night and holy shit, I'm really good apparently because I was excited. Anyway, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just joking, but I do really enjoy it. I'm just joking. I'm not like that. But I had an hour long conversation with her that I completely missed. I thought it was a 10-minute conversation. By the time I got done and went over to my desk, it was time for our meeting and I wasn't ready at all because I had read her one of the chapters. She started crying. Remember this, she has no knowledge of the book, just what I've told her about it. She's not a big reader and English isn't her first language. So there's a lot of loopholes there, a lot of obstacles. But just that one chapter taken out of context had her bawling her eyes out, crying.
I love that.
And
because it resonated with the humanity in her.
Right. Yes.
And I think that's what, every time you talk about Abigail, I feel a piece of my humanity that I'm going, oh, I relate to her. Like, I think that's what her character is like. The fact that you give her not just psychological horror, you give her body horror, like you're talking about the multiple sclerosis. This is someone who in real life who goes through physical pain. It's not just not damsel in distress, but that character where it's like, oh my gosh, she's so perfect from the outside. She only has psychological. Right. No, this is, like you said, this is someone that even someone who would read about her who goes, oh, I feel this way physically. And she's going through it mentally. She literally embodies every version of humanity. Yeah. Where someone can see her. And it's like, how can you put all the pain of humanity into one person? Yeah. And it is Abigail.
And her MS actually came from my ex-wife who had multiple sclerosis. Yeah. I saw what she went through. And there were times when I had to carry her to the bathtub. Yeah. There were times when she would just collapse while walking. There were times when she would drop a whole tray of food in the kitchen because her hands would just stop. And I saw what MS was. The first time, I didn't know what it was before I met her. Never heard of it. But seeing it, I was like, this is scarier than anything, you could write. It's that loss of self. It's that loss of control. Like I would see her just perfectly fine. And then all of a sudden just drop something. And she would just go, oh. Her hand would just stop. Yeah. And what I wanted to do with Abigail is I didn't want to make her weak. I wanted to make her human. I wanted to give her this vulnerability because the reason that Predator is not a horror movie and Alien is a horror movie is because Predator is about a guy who is very much capable of defending himself against this being that is ready to kill and fight. It's freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger with a machine gun fighting off an alien. If it was Abigail in the jungle with nothing but her cane being chased by an alien, it's horror. Because you're not trying to fight and survive or trying to fight and win. You're trying to fight to survive. So by giving her that vulnerability, you turn the story from, oh, well, she's completely capable and can do everything. She's not Superman. She's not a perfect character. There's nothing worse to me than a perfect character. I can't stand it. I immediately lose interest.
Yeah.
So by giving her that simple vulnerability and making it a part of her, not her defining trait, you just go, oh, she's just a person. She's just a chick. And she's a cool chick. She's funny and she's witty, and she hates the MS because she used to do gymnastics in school. She used to be really active. The MS said, nope, not anymore. So she's facing that. She's facing the abandonment of her mother. She's facing the fear of going back to Wicker Hill. And then she gets all the rest of it piled on top of her.
Damn.
And that's what horror is, man. It's not being weak. It's being vulnerable, knowing your vulnerabilities and going in head first and saying, I got this.
No, I love this. Okay. So before we hopped off for our, mid
pee breaks,
which we typically do. I'm just so glad we can be the friends like, pee break. Bye. We'll be back.
Yep. Gotta piss. Be right back.
This is us. I was like, I literally got a snack. I was like, can we take 2 bites of oatmeal, get some coffee? I'm ready back. You talked about, there was these 2 other points that you really wanted to hit that we talked about, that we kind of touched on in the first podcast, but we wanted to give more attention to.
Right. Because we had one of our 2-hour conversations that we so often do.
Yes.
Might as well split it into 2.
Yes.
So one was the transcending genre thing, where it's like I just said, it's like it just shows up everywhere because everybody's scared of something different. If you're scared of cucumbers, some people are. If you're scared of cucumbers and a movie has a cucumber in it, that's a horror movie.
Yes.
For you, it's a horror movie.
Yes.
So the other point I wanted to touch on is right on like the tip of my brain. It's right here. Is how it not only transcends genres, but it transcends media as a whole. Now, behind me, I've been having these wallpapers that I specifically curated for this podcast, by the way.
And I love so much. I was like, I really do love this.
So what I've done is if you've watched, you've seen at least 2, maybe 3 pro wrestlers pop up.
Mm-hmm.
The other one has been blocked by my face, but the other 2 were Undertaker and Kane. So some of the most popular characters in the history of pro wrestling were based on either horror characters or were portrayed as horror characters. You've seen Kane. Oh, hold on. My camera's reversed. You've seen Kane pop up over here and the Undertaker over here. Both horror-inspired characters. Kane was very much based on Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th series, very much based on Michael Myers from the Halloween series. The Undertaker is literally a zombie. Like, his character is that he is a zombie that takes people to their grave. Like, that was the whole thing that came with him in the early 90s when he showed up. So the Undertaker even said, when asked on a podcast, surprisingly, they said, how did you learn these mannerisms? How did you learn to keep the face, keep the face solemn all the way through? How did you learn to take the hat off a specific way, or to roll your eyes in the back of your head, or to do your tongue like that and scare people? And it was because he said, I watched horror movies. And he's like, I studied religiously Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers. I watched how zombies would move when they were, when they would fall down and get back up. He said, all of my mannerisms were taken from horror movies. It was all inspired by that. So horror transcends not just genre, but it transcends everything, really, because years and years down the line, because the Undertaker and Kane showed up in the early 90s. Undertaker showed up first. Kane showed up after. Kane is my personal favorite. He is also the mayor of Knoxville in Tennessee at the moment.
That's wild.
He does not wear the mask at his desk, which is very sad. But
just so you know, we would like to send a message. We are very disappointed.
Yes, but I still love you, Kane. You're my
still
favorite.
love you.
My favorite big man, greatest big man of all time in professional wrestling, in my opinion. Never got the chance to meet him. Would love to. But anyway,
You're welcome to come on the podcast.
Of course, dude. That would be fucking awesome.
You are always welcome. You know what? Always. We welcome everyone.
That'd be so amazing. Anyway,
almost everyone.
We're shilling right now, but I have a point and I lost it.
Sorry.
So Undertaker showed up first. There were horror characters before him, even. A lot of them didn't work as well as the Undertaker. The Undertaker lasted for 20 plus years. That's how good his character was. But then Kane showed up, and Kane was peaked as his brother, and Kane could literally rip doors off hinges and stuff like that. Their finishing moves were called the Tombstone Pile Driver. It was all horror, all of it. Kane had the mask with like the stitches across it and the flames, and his music would go. It sounded like what's it called?
The organ playing? No.
Sorry. Organ's the word.
I was like, I know those hand movements. I've seen that a million times.
Yes.
My ex literally would play the organ at those big organs. So I'm like, I have seen those hand movements so many times.
All I could think of was orchestra. That was the only thing. But anyway, his music would start with the organ playing, da, ba, and then we'd go, ba da 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 da, boom boom, ba da 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 da. It was just so. It was all horror.
Yes.
And you're talking about two of the greatest characters in professional wrestling history. Even then, like 20 years later comes Bray Wyatt. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. He literally died at my current age. So like there's definitely a relatability there.
Yes.
It's terrifying.
Yes.
He was, he was just hitting his stride. Like he was a perfect character. He was a perfect wrestler. He had this ability to talk on the mic, and when he spoke like a cult leader. Wow. And he would lead these like, I would call them like swamp hillbillies. Like was kind of the vibe of his cult. Mm-hmm. They called themselves the Wyatt family, and their music was like boom, 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 like the Southern Gothic.
Oh, I love it.
It was like. If you've ever seen True Blood, which is a whole other podcast.
Yes, I have.
True Blood has this Southern Gothic feel where it's like all cults and like swamps and very dirty, grungy. And that was Bray Wyatt's whole thing. And he would come out and he would talk like this. And he would talk to the people and he would say, "You let me in and I will lead you to the promised land." And he started out as a bad guy, but he was so good at it. He was undeniable. He was what you would call undeniable. He had that it factor. He was a cult leader. He was.
Yes. Yes.
But he was so good that he proved the point.
Yes.
He proved why people fall for it. Because he would come out and say, "Follow me." One of his whole things was, "Let me in. Let me in. Let me be." You've heard all this before.
I am literally like, our phrase was only believe.
Yes. And what that did for him was it was all horror, but he was so good at it that people loved him. And it proved the whole point of what he was, of the character.
Yeah.
Like people fall for it because these people are charismatic.
Yeah.
There's a reason that Nazi Germany happened. There's a reason that, there's a reason that cults grow into the thousands, into the millions, some even. It's because these people are looking for something to believe in.
Yes.
And these people give them something.
They're looking for something to believe in and something to escape, to find identity. And that's the one thing, like our cult was around in all, it was 4 million people. And what I realized most was that when people join, they get instant identity. Everything that they were from the past is gone. Whoever you are now is once you believe. The phrase was only believe and all things are possible. And so they would say it over again. If you believe, anything is possible, which meant every version that you were before, whatever it was, you come here and you are instantly a part of something. And this is what matters now.
It builds that community.
It built the community. And so that belief, yeah.
And it's crazy because we all do it in some extent to our lives.
Yeah.
And I think this picture behind me right now,
I'm like literally perfect timing. I was like, oh my God.
One of my favorite bands of all time, Slipknot. Obviously, I don't have to tell you that these guys were inspired by horror.
I could not imagine trying to sing. I would be terrified to sing and play my own shows.
Well, see, that's what the masks do. That's what the masks serve the purpose. They disconnect you. Just like I've told you before, FC Marrow is not Cody Redd.
No.
We're not the same people.
I see now why they cannot be the same people.
They can't be the same people.
They cannot be the same people.
Because if, let's say Corey Taylor, there's Bray Wyatt with his fiend mask right there. Wow. Yeah. Gone too soon. He was only 37 when he died. Oh, by the way, I want to give this really short story about him. This past year on his son's birthday, because his son's still alive and he has a son. He asked, the only thing he wanted for his birthday was to dress up like his dad with the mask and everything and walk outside to his birthday party to his entrance music. And he did it. He got the mask and everything, walked out. So cool. And it just shows.
How old is his son?
Oh, he's a little one. Like he's probably I would say he's probably 5 or 6, 7 maybe. But a 5 or 6 or 7-year-old not being scared of this mask because he knows who it is. He knows who's underneath. Yeah. And with Slipknot, it's the same exact way. Like I know that the lead singer of Slipknot is Corey Taylor. I know that. Yeah. He's got a beautiful singing voice. He can rip into his own vocal cords and tear your heart out. Amazing vocalist. But when the man you see in interviews, the Corey Taylor you see in interviews, the Corey Taylor you see when he's doing like an acoustic show for Stone Sour, which is his other band, he doesn't wear a mask in Stone Sour. He's just Corey Taylor. I've seen that guy literally sing to the crowd the SpongeBob entrance theme or the SpongeBob intro. This is the same guy who's on stage in that zombie mask, screaming his fucking head off and saying like the F word like every 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And what horror does in that case is it lets you, firstly, like Kiss did it like back in the 70s, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Kiss is one of my favorite bands of all time. I've had 20-year-long relationships happen because of Kiss. Like me and my friend Dylan, who lived together and were friends for like 20 some odd years, our entire friendship started because I walked up to him and was like, hey, I like your Kiss shirt. And we were friends for 21 years, 23 years. We still talk, but yes. Time and distance. But I love Dylan. Dylan, I love you if you ever watch this. I do. I still love you. You're my brother. But Kiss did it. Alice Cooper did it. There's a band called Mushroom Head who I absolutely adore with all my heart and soul. They do it a lot like Slipknot does, though their music's it's a different genre. Slipknot does it. I Prevail does it. So many different heavy metal bands do it.
Yeah.
I've seen rappers do it. There's a rapper named Ghostface who is literally named after the killer from Scream. Wow. But what this does is it creates a character that is so powerful that it transcends everything else. It transcends your music. It turns into influence. When Kiss first showed up and not when they first showed up, but when they started getting popular, when Kiss first started getting popular, there were entire groups of mothers and churches who banded together against this one band because they thought Kiss stood for Kids in Satan's Service.
Oh my God, I remember this.
Because Gene Simmons, the demon, his Kiss alter ego, it's an alter ego for a reason because he's not FC Marrow, he's Gene Simmons. He's not the demon, he's Gene Simmons. He would like stick his tongue out and like spit blood, like fake blood, obviously. Yeah. And his guitar was shaped, or his bass was shaped like a fucking axe. Yeah. It's so cool. Kiss was so cool, dude. Anyway, these guys were called demon worshipers, devil worshipers.
Oh, I remember.
There's a whole movie. There's a great and fantastic movie called Detroit Rock City about this kid in the 70s who wants to go to a Kiss concert, and his mom is like a zealot. So she sets his tickets on fire and ruins the trip for him and all of his friends because they sincerely believed that these people were demon worshipers. The members of Kiss let this go on for years, decades. And then in an interview, when they started taking the makeup off and stuff, Gene Simmons was like, yeah, they call us demon worshipers, but the truth is we're just a bunch of Jewish kids. Like, they were just a bunch of Jewish kids, Alice Cooper wore black makeup.
Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne would bite the heads off bats and stuff.
Oh, I know.
But Alice Cooper is a born again Christian. And he still performs all of his music. He still wears the black leather and the black face paint.
Yeah.
All of this was inspired by horror. And with Slipknot weaponized it. Like they made it hard. Their masks are, grotesque. They're not face paint. That's not white, black, red, and silver like Kiss was, where it had kind of this glam rock to it. Slipknot was visceral. Yeah, I should tell this story. Because it relates. It's gross, but I'm gonna tell it anyway because it relates. So, one of the members of Slipknot, his name's Clown, because his character is a clown. Makes sense. It's logical. I get it. He would get so intense on stage that he would vomit.
My God.
In his mask. But the character was so important. He would stay in that mask all show and would not take it off until the end.
Wait, why would he vomit? Just
from the intensity of it.
Oh my gosh.
Like if you watch a live Slipknot performance on YouTube, sometimes you can see like Mick or James, the guitarist, their fingers are bleeding and they're just going. Still going. Joey Jordison the original drummer for Slipknot, he died from complications by MS, actually. So that's a callback to our earlier conversation. He had multiple sclerosis and died from complications with that. He would actually drum while being turned upside down.
Yeah.
They were crazy. They're performers, they're artists, but Clown would take it further because he believed that Slipknot's heart was their rage. It was the intensity that they brought to the stage. It was the anger. It was this absolute release of everything that they pent up, no matter what it was.
Yeah.
Clown, I almost called him Cody. Cody would not do this. Clown did this. I'm Cody. Clown did this. Clown would take dead birds and put them into other members' masks and let them sit in the sun for like days. That way, when they put their mask on, they had to deal with that smell the entire show. And the reason he did it was because he wanted to elicit. It's disgusting, yes. But what he did was he wanted to elicit the pure, raw emotion of their music. It wasn't about disgusting them. It was about getting them at their absolute lowest while on stage, screaming, playing, forcing rage out into the world in a way that, like we said earlier with Chester Bennington, it's like you're releasing it for other people. They have this one song, these same people. I'm actually about to sing, so you better record this one. They have these same people, the same screaming people, the same people who say the F word every 3 seconds, the same people who put dead birds in their masks and vomit and slam themselves into walls. They have a song called actually they have multiple songs. They have that's Stone Sour. They have Vermilion, and they have a lot of great songs. But they have a slow song. These are the same people that give way to horror. And I want you to listen to the lyrics because it literally sounds like something being said in a horror movie. He says, "Bury all your secrets in my skin. Come away with innocence and leave me with my sins. The air around me still feels like a cage. But love is just a camouflage for what resembles rage again." Now, this guy was abandoned by his best friend in a dumpster and left to die. So if anybody understands horror, it's him. So all of this stuff, he has these slow songs that sound like an angel singing because Corey Taylor's voice is beautiful. But they also have this like puking in their own masks, dead birds, like screaming and cursing and drumming upside down. And it's like, that to me is the duality of horror. It's like this slow, silent encroachment or this rage and terror. And they just embodied all of it.
And to me, it also shows that for them to have to go to that extreme, to me, it shows the aspects of humanity that people don't want to acknowledge, that someone needed that extreme because it matched something actually in them.
Right.
And I think that's what, it's so hard because people they don't want to imagine that it can be that bad.
Right.
They're going, is this, I mean, they do imagine it because that's why they watch shows and all these things. But when you have a band that is willing to like so embody that, they are embodying it so that people can find release from it.
Right. And that even goes further because the guy right here.
Yeah.
So both of these guys died, right? This is Joey Jordison, the drummer. He died from complications to MS. And this guy right here, he died from drug overdose. This guy right here, accidental, I'm pretty sure, is his best friend, the lead singer. So there's an entire album, and this ties back into the horror in just a minute. But it goes to show the importance of art for expression. After he died, they went on a bit of a sabbatical because Corey Taylor was just done. He was destroyed. Mm-hmm. The lead singer was destroyed. He was his best friend, his brother. They've been touring the world for 20 years or whatever. The entire next album was called The Gray Chapter because his last name is Gray. Mm-hmm. Over here. My camera. His last name was Gray. So the entire album is called The Gray Chapter. And there's a song on that album called Skeptic. I always want to say cynic, but it's called Skeptic. And it's Corey's song about him. Paul Gray is his name. Paul Gray. So all the way through Skeptic, every time Corey screams, it's like something is shattering inside of him. If you don't know the relationship between him and Paul Gray, you just hear, wow, that's a really good scream. If you know that relationship and you know what that song is about, you go, this man's dying. Like he lost his anchor, his strong point, his cornerstone. The screams are so visceral. They tear through you. Like you were talking about earlier about wave, the way music goes through us. Mm-hmm. He lets it go through him. There's no way that by the end of that song, his throat's not bleeding. There's just no way. But what it goes to show is that they've got horror on their faces. They're playing these characters, but his heart is broken, shattered into pieces. There are some lyrics in that song where he literally says, "You were the best of us. Yeah. Why did you have to go?" And it's like, oh my God, dude. It's like that duality, man. It's always the duality. It's always the duality every single time. We are not one thing. None of us are one thing. And it's like Corey Taylor goes from, wearing a mask with a dead bird in it to pouring his heart out about the death of his best friend. And you feel it. Yeah. Oh my God. Even if you don't listen to heavy metal, if you hear that story, go and listen to that song. Listen to his screams. Listen to the pain in his voice, because that is art. Yeah. You don't have to like heavy metal. It's just that is what we're always talking about expressing yourself through art and showing who you are and exorcising those demons that I talked about. It's exorcising those demons.
I'm really excited because just to see the fans in the comments, to see the people that this resonates with, because this podcast is, like I said, in the first round, that's why we had to do a part 2. It's not what I expected, which is life.
What did you expect?
What I expected was just, honestly,
talking about Chucky.
Yeah, talking about Chucky and how.
I could do 2 hours on Chucky.
How it's like the art, how it's amazing, like trying to convince why you should watch it. But because that's what you hear. You hear people get up on these. You need to watch it because of they give you all these all these reasons of art and beauty and all these things. I'm going, it doesn't matter to me. I'm going, no, you can't convince me. But to me, that's why I always annoy people in my life, because I'm like, but I want to know why you like it. Don't just tell me that it's the greatest script ever written. No. And the greatest script ever written is the one that resonates with you the most.
Right.
There is no such thing as the greatest script or the greatest writer. It is that it resonates and moves someone to do something in their life that they didn't have the courage to do before. To me, it's creation. I create something and it causes a reaction in you that makes you do something to create, and it creates that ripple effect of change. Something is great when it creates change that impacts.
Yeah.
So I get so used to hearing people superficially talk about horror and why it is so great, but no one ever tells me why it actually matters to them in a way that can tell me it moved me to do this. It moved me to have this impact in my life. It helped me shift from here to go to here, because that to me is what's great. Our ability. I used to believe that people could not change. And I remember the moment I was sitting with a friend my grandpa was going through treatments. We were at the hospital and he was in the last stages of his cancer. And I had a friend who was in medical school, and she came in to help take care of him. And she had been through some hard things in her life. And we hadn't seen each other for a while. And she sat down next to me and we started talking, and I saw something different. I saw this change, like this facing of herself. And there was this hope in her that I'd never seen. And in that moment, it made me go, I knew everything about her and her past, that I was like, oh, if she can't find hope, or if she can find hope, then it is that thing. So when I saw that, I believed for the first time, oh, some people can change. And so that's what I love about this, is because I expected you just to go on a huge rant, which don't mean you don't try to convince me of anything, but I'm like, I know how much you love horror. So I'm like, okay, he's going to go in detail of every favorite show he's ever, but it wasn't. It was the thing that I love most about our friendship is like, you give me the why.
Well, I mean, if you want, we can do another 4 hours. I'm good.
I know. Listen, guys, we could do podcasts. And this is when it's like, I always chuckle because I watch other people's podcasts that talk about movies. And they always talk about the script, the music, they do this, the overall, which, it's going to get tons of views because you hit the basic. This is this actor. They did this. They're known for this, all this stuff. That is not this podcast. This podcast, we literally unearth every version of why it actually matters. We go so deep.
Dude.
And that's what I love. I'm like, this is where I can live, guys.
It's important because my favorite video game series of all time is Resident Evil.
Yeah.
My second favorite, she's probably tied with Vegeta. I just don't say that because
that's not fair to them. They each have their own space.
Yes. I mean, she's definitely my favorite female character of all time. But I have my favorite female character. I have my favorite video game series. I have multiples of my favorite movies. I wouldn't be an author.
Yeah.
I'm literally a published author because of horror.
Yeah.
I don't know how to express the importance of it other than just saying, what I've said over these last 2 hours, where it's like everything I am is connected to this in some way.
Yeah.
Like I remember the first time that I snuck out of the bedroom late at night to see what my parents were watching. It was a movie called Cemetery Man. I do remember. God. There's a movie called The Cemetery Man. And it's this weird kind of French horror romance comedy. It's a weird mix. But I remember, because it was one of the first times I remember seeing a zombie outside of Resident Evil. And they had this they made this clicking sound with their teeth. Where, and that's how you knew they were coming. So
that's another thing. Teeth. I have a thing with teeth and things being stuck to teeth. Ugh.
So when I was a kid, it anytime I started getting scared of zombies, because I was terrified of zombies. I just was. I would say they're not here because the teeth aren't clicking. They're not here because the teeth, there's no clicking teeth. They're not here. Because the Resident Evil zombies had this like sound. If there's no clicking teeth and I don't hear the moaning, I'm okay. I'm safe. But then later on in movies and stuff, they made zombies like deadly quiet and being able to like hide and stuff. I was like, nah, it don't work for me, fam. But
that's the kind of stuff that I was like, it's the kind of stuff that horrifies me.
I remember that moment. I remember Cemetery Man because of that moment. I remember playing Resident Evil in my mom's bedroom because that's where my PlayStation was. I don't remember why, but that's where it was. I remember playing Resident Evil and not being able to finish it. I remember seeing Jill Valentine in Resident Evil 3 and going, I can beat this game for her. I can do that.
Yeah.
And I have statues of her in my house. Like I have books. I have a bookshelf full of books that are all just Resident Evil adaptations. I have Resident Evil Blu-rays, every single movie, the good ones and the bad ones. I went to go see every single one of them in theaters. I went to go see some of them in 3D. I can quote most of them. I can connect. I can tell you.
So we're basically saying we have to do a podcast just on Resident Evil, and we do actually need.
Yeah, that's a given.
And we actually do need to bring in Austin because Austin, St. John the Red Ranger, he loves Resident Evil.
You know what we should do? We should do it around the time that I get my figure.
Yes, 100%.
My foot tall Jill Valentine, and I'll do an unopening on it. Yeah,
we'll do one with Austin.
But everything that I love, I know you want to end this. I know.
No. Oh no! I had an appointment that comes up that I don't want to cut you off at the wrong moment because I have another Zoom.
I'm about done.
No, I have another Zoom. I'm like, damn it!
How much time do I got? I can hurry up.
No, you're good. I have like 10 minutes. I think, unless it already started without me.
I wouldn't be an author. I wouldn't have my favorite video game. I wouldn't have my favorite character. Everything that has inspired me as a creative wouldn't exist, except for what Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles did, which made me a martial artist. But all of my passions that all 630 pages of this came from watching horror movies and mostly horror movies with like strong female leads. And when I say strong female leads, I mean real ones. With flaws and vulnerabilities, like Ripley in Alien, who was terrified out of her mind, but still fought that alien. And in Aliens, she took a maternal point over that little girl that she finds. It was like those things birthed Abigail.
Yes.
It was those characters and those terrors and that darkness and that hope, that ever lingering flicker of hope, no matter how small it was, still burning in the dark. Shaped my entire life. Horror is everything. Okay, I'm done.
Wow. Sorry, that became very hypnotic. I was like,
I have that way. I swear to God, to everybody watching this, I'm not as arrogant as I act like I am. It's all a character.
He's not. It's just one of his characters. There's no way let's be honest. If you were that arrogant, there's no way you would open up about so many things about yourself and just be like, guys, here's honesty.
I just like talking about my shit.
I love that you do.
My Dragon Ball shelf's right here.
This is why we're friends, because I'm like, I cannot live a life without people that love to talk about their shit. I love it. It is honestly my favorite thing ever, of just getting together with a friend and then just hearing them be able to go for hours on something. I'm like,
dude, and I've got a million things that I love, like just in the screens behind me. Like this is the Booby and Zombies anime, by the way.
Yeah, we did it. We did an episode reference back to that.
Yeah, we had a whole episode about anime and the duality of it, and how you can go from booby zombie anime to stuff that is profound and wholesome. Yeah. I did a whole episode on that, but I love everything that I love. I love it passionately.
Yeah.
And
there's no other way to live.
No, because I think if you half-ass anything, including your passions, you don't care.
Exactly.
And I think caring is numero uno.
Yes. And that's everything. And but no, I do. I'm so excited because I like to, now that I'm actually excited for future podcasts about horror, where I'm like, okay, now I want you to dive into some of these movies and me understand them as someone who's never watched them and who probably will, just to be honest, I'll never watch them. I won't. Just based off my for me, I would not find freedom in them. But
You're going to watch Wicker Hill, though.
Wicker Hill, 100%.
Because we're going to be on the red carpet with Alexandra Daddario and Tyler
Yes, we
Hoechlin.
are. Yes, you and I are. Yes. 100%.
I'll fly to LA for that.
Dude, I will fly you to LA first class for that.
Can you imagine, real quick?
I can't imagine. I know it's going
to. I'm putting this into the universe.
It's here. It's here and now.
We are on the red carpet. That's the first time we meet. The first time we meet in person is the red carpet for the premiere of Wicker Hill with Alexandra Daddario and Tyler Hoechlin and Willem Dafoe and Tilda Swinton. They're all there. I get the whole cast I want. Robert Eggers decides for the first time ever he's going to film a cell phone. I come up and I sign your book. And this all happens on the same day.
Okay, the only problem I have with this, I love everything about this, unless I'm going to be masked the whole time we're filming this, is that I'm going to be helping produce this movie. So how can I not be there?
This is the red carpet. You will be there.
But the red carpet, it's after the movie's done.
Yeah.
You mean I don't get to see you? We're going to.
You mean while we're making the movie?
Yes. You mean I don't get to see you the whole entire time? We're going to be making a movie separate from each other?
No, I'd have to be there. Because
you would know you'd have to be there. But listen,
I have to explain it in person to her. The profound impact she had, just her appearance, had on the character. It can't be said through words. It doesn't matter.
So that means unless you're gonna have me, maybe this is our epic story, guys. Our epic story is really about two things: the book being turned into a movie, and Cody and Olivia finally meeting for the first time. This will be the big reveal. So the whole movie will be made where I have to wear a mask where I never get to see Cody. We were always kept in separate rooms. Whenever he enters a room, I must leave the room because
like a wedding day.
Yes. Because our first
see the bride.
Because our first time ever meeting has to be on the red carpet.
We'll figure it out.
But
before we go, I want to show my book one more time.
Yes, please.
Wicker Hill by F.C. Marrow.
And we're going to put a link below.
Yeah, it's 630 pages of existential dread and horror. You will hate me after. You're probably going to throw the book across the room, but that's okay. I just want an emotion. I don't care what emotion, just a emotion.
Yes.
At fcmarrow.com. It's also available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and about 100 others that I don't know of. But I make more money off the digital copy, but the physical copy is better. So get that one for you.
Yes. And
I want to say one more thing. I am top 60 on Ingram Spark, the place that I published the book through.
Yes.
I'm top 60 in the top 60 on sales since my book published.
Dude, that's amazing. See?
I want to get into the top 10 though. So go share this.
No, you're going to be the top number one. We're not going to go to 10. We're going to be number one.
Yeah, we are.
Yes. Always number one.
Go buy my book or I'll make your horror real.
You will. Trust me. Please just buy the book. I already bought the book out of complete terrification as being
terrification.
Terrification, that is defecation.
That's terror that causes you to poop yourself.
Yes, that is one. That is my fear. That is terrification. 100%. That is me. That is my life story. I literally would just shit myself. I am the definition of terrification. Cody's book is terrification. I bought it.
And it should be to you on Sunday, I think.
It will. It is. I got a notification. Yes, it is going to be here on Sunday. So our next podcast, when we discuss this book, I will actually have a physical copy with sweaty palms and happy heart.
And I can't wait to talk about it through a whole podcast because I want to talk about writing. I want to talk about writing and I want to talk about influence. It's not just all about my book. It's about
no. This is about the creation of something,
right,
and the influence of it.
And just the perspective from someone who actually did it and
exactly.
got it done.
No, I love it. All right.
I just want to say real quick, I'm almost done. This has been one of my favorite that we've ever done. Without a doubt.
Well, I have, it has been my favorite in the sense of I was the most surprised.
Well, I mean, the Bobby one was my favorite because Bobby Calloway is an amazing human being and just one of the best people ever.
We don't have favorites.
I don't know how to wink, apparently.
I know.
I was trying to, but it just came out like I was having a tick or something. No, I just told Bobby earlier today that he was my anchor, so I can't act like I don't have a favorite.
You are allowed to have a favorite. He is. Bobby is an incredible soul. Like he literally is going to be the most promoted person on a podcast that has never paid us to promote.
Ooh.
Hey, you know
And
what,
he'll
guys?
never have to.
Listen, never have to. If we talk about our friends and promote our friends so freely, a brand deal. What would we do with a brand deal?
What would we do for a paid sponsor?
I would like. I would
will
like
tape
to.
your name to my butt cheeks.
I will. Oh my God, he will. Listen, Richard's Rainwater. We are going to be promoted by you. I would love a brand deal because I drink you all the time. I go through so much water. I only drink bubbles. It is at my desk. I wash my face with it. My dog drinks it.
This is not a paid sponsorship.
This is not a paid sponsor. It is not a paid sponsorship. But I'm telling everyone who wants the best water, if you want to drink fucking rain, it is literal rain. It is so amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay. This doesn't need to be the best, but the best thing ever about water is you get a whole bunch of different types of water and you line them up and then you taste each one. And so I do water tastings. Okay.
And there's a difference. There's
a difference. I'm a sommelier for wine, but there are sommeliers when it comes to water. And I would love when I have the time to be a water sommelier. I think it'd be so much fun. And so anyways.
You could sell water to a camel.
Oh my God. And then I also have Fiji, but Fiji, you're not in glass. So Richards gets the promotion. Fiji, you're smooth, you're silky. I do appreciate you. You taste so much better if you're in glass. Anyways.
I hope this podcast gets 1 billion views.
Oh my God, it's going to. 1 billion views. It always will. We're just going. For now on, I'm saying it is. We have 1 billion views today. And there's no such thing as time. So.
All we have to do is end the thing if we ever get to that point.
I know. I know.
All right, peace.
Bye. Bye. Okay. I'll see you in a couple hours.